Heatage! Yes, it's the fan heater I use in the shed. I've got an oil radiator there, but it needs to be switched on about July. No, it does work quite well, but it takes ages. So fan heater's on because it's about -1 in here. So I've only just put it on. It's a little bit chilly around the willy. So anyway, I've had a little plan. All the needles, jets and stuff like that out of the carbs, they've got to come out. There is no easy way of doing it other than popping the carbs. Hand gesture. My gob is right behind you, so you should be able to hear me just right. So I've just had a cruel and vicious idea. I'm going to pop the carbs off, and obviously they've got to be stripped, cleaned. I'm waiting for some carb cleaners to come, which should be here by the weekend. I got 6 cans that were on offer, and then what I'll do is, because it's going to take a few days to sort the carbytinkles out, hopefully, fingers crossed, and we don't get one of them from the universe. Might be ready to pop back on at the weekend, we'll see. Shouldn't take that long, as soon as the bits are here. We shall see, basically. But yes, Jim, you're waffling. Get on with the point of it. Right. So my plan is to get the old carbytinkles off, cover Charlie all over again, put some rubber gloves and stuff around the inlet ports, so just in case we have any cheese-eating friends around. There's no evidence, but you can't be too careful, because the day you don't do it is the day they move in. And then get Charlie off the bench. I might get Phyllis on the bench and start with the 150 conversion, which will be an entirely separate video. Yes, but this one is just, there is an art to removing these carbytinkles. And see these clamps down here? Pointing device. That is the clamp that clamps it to the cylinder, and that is the clamp that's supposed to clamp the carbytinkle. You can undo them both if you want. It doesn't really if these pop off the cylinders. There's 4 of them, obviously, 1 for each carb. I should be able to get round to the other side. Olive is around there at the moment, so as soon as I've undone them, basically it is not a delicate procedure to remove these. Basically, once you've undone the clamps, you gently pry under it. You can do it with the clamps done up, because, you know, and I've done it before with the clamps done up. But yeah, we've got to move the coil out of the way to give it some room. Once the coil's out of the way, they're easy enough to get out of the way. 2 8mm bolts on this bike, because I'm pretty sure half the bolts on this bike aren't standard anyway. Then we've got to unattach the choke cable. We've got to unattach the throttle cable, and then it'll all pop out, because this is all your fuel. This is your fuel inlet. That's your breather from the airbox into the crankcase, or all the way around rather, and then it can all buggery jiggery pokery. So I'm going to start undoing all these, and when I'm ready to gently pop the carburettors off with an effing massive crowbar, trust me, I've done many a V4, I will bring you back. Nice. Super match game, super match game, super match game. That's enough of that, Jim. Right. Coils out the way. Choke cable, unattachium. Throttle cable, unattachium. It's time to get the big boys out. As you can see, actually fitting them's worse, because you've got a loom right by the side, which goes, you know, sort of interferes with this buggery jiggery. And you've got a clutch cable coming in the side. There is an online service manual knocking around somewhere, which I did download, which does give you all the correct cable routings and loom routings and all that lot, because it can be a bit of a bugger. You know, if somebody's had something apart before, and just slapped it back together again, then sometimes sometimes it doesn't go to plan. But that is the least of our worries. Let's poppage the carburettors off. I don't know where I'm going to put you. I might put you on the seat actually, and then you'll see over there, because I have found over my years of working on these little V4s, I've had a couple of these, and I've had an NC30, never should have sold it, and I've dealt with NC21s and stuff like that. This honestly is the best way to do it, and the best way to put them back is to put the aluminium tray on, bolt that all down, making sure you've got all the trumpets in right, because the trumpets need to sit in there to be airtight. I mean, to put them back in, basically you offer one side of the carbs up and put a bit of wood across the aluminium and give it a right good twatting. It's a bit of, you know, they need a bit of grief to go in. If you think doing an inline 4 can be difficult, you'll find religion doing these. And you need to be just as gently brutal to get them out as well. Once they're out, once the back ones are popped or the front ones are popped, they're reasonably easy. That's going to make me a liar. So basically what I'm going to do now is get a crowbar. You can get a little pry bar. I mean, even something like that, which is a tyre lever, will do. But if you're a bit prissy about it, you know, stuff a few rags down and stuff. But I mean, look, I can get that. That's popped with the tyre iron. One, just against the cylinder head. There you go. They're loose. The first one of these I did have to use my big crowbar because the rubbers had gone rock hard. And there's nothing worse than a rock hard rubber. I think there's a bit of shitage on the lens there. That's yeah. That was a view you didn't want. And here's another one. Right. Anyway, they're loose, or the back ones have popped. And usually when the back ones pop, look, the front ones have popped. They're now loose, ready to come out. But I'm going to need both of my titty manglers to get them out. Then these carbs are going into the brick shed. And then the plan is I'm going to drain the other 3 float bowls, because I found it very interesting that this float bowl wouldn't refill, or it was dripping, which suggests a blockage or a gummage somewhere. So that's what I'm going to do now. Let's do one of them fancy click things, because when I do the click, the carbs won't be there. Are you ready? This is going to fail spectacularly. Ready? Yeah, that probably didn't work too well, because obviously I've moved the carbytinkles, and I've obviously not in the same place than I was before. The rubbers are actually they're quite nice and pliable, but what I did last time when I fitted them is I smeared red rubber grease around it. Not only does it help seal, some of the grease, the oils in the grease and stuff, will permeate into the rubber, and it will soften the rubber up. I think we have got Steve. Hang on, let's do it properly. Let's have the wall of panelage. Are you ready? Steve. Oh, good-looking bastard. Right. I do believe ordered new rubbers, and they're in the brick shed somewhere in an envelope, because I don't think we needed them, because these went on all right. But you know, we'll may consider putting them on. English, Jim, for fuck's sake. May consider putting them on. Right, now Charlie's like this, what I'm going to do is bung these holes up, put the panels on. His battery's charged, put the panels on, put the tank on, and that way it's, you know, protected from the elements, because he's now going to go outside for the day. And Phyllis, beautiful Phyllis, will be coming in. And yeah, well, we'll see, because it's gonna take me a few days to do these. I'm not going to rush it. I'm going to investigate thoroughly, but I think they're just gummed up from standing, basically, which is my fault. I should have drained the float bowls. But yeah. But while we're in here, we, you know, when she's back on the bench, we'll get some degrease, and we'll go down in this. We'll go in the valley. We will, you know, and we'll do all a bit of cleaning up and what have you. Yes. Nice. It's going alarmingly well. I think I've just jinxed that one. this organisation. All of Charlie's bolts are going to go in this box marked Charlie, so I know they're from the VFR and don't get them mixed up with Phyllis. What bloody hell's going on here? Yeah, you're on the master cylinder of Charlie. Actually, are you high enough? Yep. I'm going to do a little walkie-talkie bit around the little bit of the shed. If you follow the Facebook page, links down below to the merch and all this lot of merch stores. I've got Redbubble and I've got Tea, which used to be Tea Spring. No, it's Spring Gym. It used to be called Tea Spring. Anyway, there's some stuff on there. You know, mugs, hoodies, all that kind of shit. It all comes back to the channel. I only get a little bit of it, but it all comes back, all gets spent on kebabs. But thanks to the few people that have joined Patreon recently. I do only have one paid supporter, which is Uncle Carl. Carl, all this is your doing. Yes, in fact I bought my torque wrench with the proceeds from Carl, so thank you very much, Carl. Every time I grab my tool, I'll be thinking of you. Anyway, all the links to Patreon and all that lot, they're all down below. You know I don't beg for likes, shares and subscribe and all this lot, but it does help immensely. I mean, even I notice if I ghost sign into YouTube and all that lot, my content is coming up, which is good. Spread the word of shed idiocy. So anyway, you may have known, like I say, if you follow the Facebook page, and there's not many of us, 40 odd, something like that. It's a nice little clicky group. It's basically a dumping ground for rude jokes. It pretty much is. But also I will put the links to the videos in there as well, just in case you watch them and you don't subscribe. Subscribe. Right. I've been having a little rant about insurance and all this lot on Facebook, because my current insurance company that was, they're now, was Hastings Direct, and to be fair, they're pretty good, price wise, very good. But I had an email the other week saying they weren't going to quote Northern Lake. They weren't going to quote for Spurt because they couldn't offer a competitive price. So I thought, okay, no bother, we'll just look for some more. And I thought, I'm going to think about multi-bike insurance. I've never had multi-bike insurance, and I thought, well, it makes sense because there's currently 3 in the fleet, soon to be 4. Hey, Uncle Steve, you know what I mean? Right, anyway, so it's too late for Olive. Olive's renewal came and went. Oh, I've just noticed there's a bolt missing on the fuel tank. That came and went, so I've got to do Olive separately. So that's no biggie because she's not that expensive, to be honest. And it's done on, it's a bit like your tax, that they take capacity and all that lot, rarity. So she is actually more expensive than the ZZR, or was. Phyllis was the cheapest of the lot, but not by a lot. But I thought the costs were reasonable. Jimmy waffling, get to the point, you prick. So I've just done Phyllis and Spurt on a multi-bike, and for the 2 it was less than I paid for Phyllis. Yeah. Next year I'll see what the renewal price is like, because it's pretty damn good. It's under £100. Oh man, it's never been that cheap. I'm going to stick, if Olive's still about, I'll stick Olive on it. I'm getting to like Olive. And I realised last time I did the Woodruff key and all that lot and put the Aprilia hub back on was, I think, September. Looking back at old videos and stuff, I'm sure it was about September, which would make sense because I've not ridden it for a while. And so far, fingers crossed, touch penis, it's been alright, and I do enjoy riding it. There's something about it. It's got bags of character. It's brilliant 2-ups. It's great because you've got a decent width between the seat and the foot pegs. Not like this one, look. I mean, you wouldn't want to go pillion on a VFR at the best of times anyway, although I did used to. Yes, I did used to carry pillions on my VFR, and, you know, they get used to it. But when you're going out with little blondes and stuff like that, you know, a Brillo pad isn't going to be much of a problem. You know, we did 100, 200 mile journeys on it, and not a problem. But that one, obviously, proper seat. And Spurt, proper seat. But Spurt's foot peg to seat relationship is quite a bit shorter, so they feel a bit like a frog on a stirrup pump. So anyway, that's my little bit about insurance and talking bollocks. Yeah, let's get Phyllis on the ramp. In the next video, well, you know what's coming. Cylinder shenanigans. See you next time. Penis.
One eternity later.
Hello folks. So, as you've just seen, took the carbs off Charlie. Phyllis is on the bench, and we've got the carbytinkles here. I have drained the float bowls. This shite is residual that just came out basically, because the float bowls on a couple of them didn't drain fully. As you can see, I've already got one of the gaskets out. These are all new gaskets, and I'm just ignore the shite because it's literally just spider poo. Got the heater on. I have the windows open because the fuel in these stinks, and I can't remember the last time I ran Charlie up. Bear in mind, she's just had or attempted to have fresh fuel in her. Him, her, who knows? In this day and age, they could be what they like. Nope. Anyway, I took all the drain screws out, and I'm just starting to take the Jim, you can't, what is it? You can't find the words today. Float bowls. These bottom bits are the float bowls basically. Inside you have a set of floats. You will get fuel coming into the carburettor, and as the float bowl fills, the floats rise to a set level. You set the level to the wank shop manual, and when they get to a certain level, there is a little needle valve inside the fuel inlet pipe, and when it gets to a certain level, it stops the fuel coming in, and then as the bike uses the fuel, the floats drop, more fuel comes in, and your carbs are doing this constantly. Hand gestures. So anyway, as you can see, or as you can probably see from an earlier video, and I'm losing my train of thought, you've seen Charlie fire up on Starchy Bastard and wouldn't run on fuel. And I think I found the reason. Now, Charlie's not been laid up that long, but did have he had a mix of E10 and super unleaded, not so much super unleaded in, because I think the last time I ran Charlie up, I nicked some E10 out of Phyllis or something like that. One of you will probably remember. And in all my years stripping carburettors down, even from motorcycles that have sat 10 years like the Aprilia and similar, I have never ever seen this, and the only thing I can put it down to is E10 fuel. Are you ready? These that's here. This is where your float attaches. This is the float with shittage. I mean, fortunately it's soft and gummy shittage at the moment, but that's your float. That's the needle and seat below it down there. That's probably going to be full of shit, and these are your jets and idle circuit pickups and stuff like that. That one completely blocked. that one will probably be blocked. I've never ever seen them that bad when they've ran recently. So like I say, the only thing I can put it down to is E10. And that's the bottom of the float bowl, look. I have never ever seen that. In fact, I had to remove the drain screws off of two completely, off of two of the float bowls, just so the drain. So yeah, I've never ever seen that. And the only thing I can think of is E10. So let's get a few more off and see what they're like. These aren't, you know, carb specific. You can put these back on any one of them you like. So we're just going to start putting everything in the tin of sin, and then everything will go will be cleaned out, because when this stuff dries out, it will go like this.
Powder.
And that's like sand. Unfortunately, when it dries out in jets and stuff like that, then I've got a set of welding nozzle cleaning tips, and you know, you can get them in there and get the thinnest bit of wire you can get and give it a right good ramming up. Stick it right up. So we'll get some more off, and we'll see if they're just as bad. But that now explains why she wouldn't run when it ran before. And bear in mind, it ain't been laid up that long. Frightening penis.
12 seconds later.
There's the next one, as you can see. Shit central. So yep, they're all going to be like this. Let's have a look inside there. Let's have a look inside. Oh, fuck my old boots. Yeah. So if there is a lesson, ladies and gentlemen, it is obviously, you know, golden rule: if you know it's going to be laid up, drain the float bowls. Another one: add some fuel stabilizer, whatever, but don't keep E10 in it. I can't guess what else it can be other than that. So right, I'm guessing they're just going to be the same. But yeah, shocking.